Welcome back, guys. I think you should grab a beer or two because I'm here to talk about the Die Hard series, specifically the latest one from 2007, Live Free or Die Hard. And I have a lot to say, so take a seat. Um, Believe me when I say that Die Hard 1 is one of my favorite action movies. It's right up there with Terminator, the original Terminator, for my favorite action movie. Both of them are pretty much tied. I don't mean, it's the best movie in its genre or it's the best movie of the 80s, best action movie. So I was a little bit scared, I guess, weary of hearing about Die Hard 4. First of all, Die Hard 2 was not that good. Die Hard 3 was a little better. I like Die Hard 3, but it has been over 10 years. Movies have moved on, and, you know, Bruce Willis is getting old. I thought that would be hard to buy. Then when you started to hear more and more about it, it was like I was with a lot of other people that was just like, this Live Free or Die Hard is gonna suck. Then you hear it's PG-13, so you're like, it's not gonna have that Die Hard edge. He's not gonna get to say yippee ki yay, motherfucker, and blow bullet holes in people and stuff. And I heard the director is Len Wiseman, who did Underworld movies or the first Underworld, or I don't know. I don't like them. And then you see that in this one, Bruce Willis has a sidekick who is Justin Long. I got nothing wrong with Justin Long, but you don't think of him as a sidekick in an action movie. And you also think, John McClane doesn't need a fucking sidekick. It had a lot going against it. I almost refused to see the movie for a while. And then I finally did, and I was like, damn, this is good. This is the best one since the first one. And I watched it again just now. I just watched it again today, and with my higher expectations, and it held up. It's good. It's a good fucking entry in the series. A good action movie in general, but a good sequel to Die Hard. So if you're one of those people who are like me, who wrote this movie off without seeing it and never gave it a chance, I'm telling you, go see it. It's good. Get it. The premise in this one, a lot has changed since back then. And the good thing about the amount of time that's happened since the first three is there was you know lots of changes in technology, so a different type of terrorism could be explored. And so this time it's like a cyber terrorist thing where like Timothy Oliphant, who is pretty good in the role. I could see why some people might not like him, but I thought he was a good villain. Timothy Oliphant is like I think he was a guy that worked in the NSA or something, or the Department of Defense, some bullshit. And he like warned them that it was so easy to hack their systems and shut them down, and they basically fired him for it. So now he's gonna prove to them how right he was, which is, yes, it's a little ridiculous, and there's a lot of ridiculous stuff in this movie, but it's fun. And then the idea of cyberterrorism, like, ooh, the streetlights go out. It's another thing I like scoffed at going in, but the way they pull it off so that you believe, oh, if and I don't want to give away too much about what happens, but there is certain elements to the cyber terrorism that really would screw things up for the country, for the world, pretty much. Um, and Bruce Willis is back as John McClane, and he's assigned to basically escort this hacker guy from his house to like an FBI headquarters or something, so that they could, I think, use him for help. I forgot how it starts now already. But on the way, Bruce Willis goes to pick him up, and this kid's been targeted by the terrorists to be taken out because they don't want any hackers interfering with their plans, like counter hacking them. So it's like a chase cat and mouse thing going on where for most of the movie Bruce Willis is trying to escort Justin Long from point A to point B, but then along the way they decide, we're the guys that have to take these guys out. You know, John McClane has to go get the terrorists himself. Completely ridiculous, yes, but it keeps in the spirit of the movies. It keeps in the spirit of like your regular guy who's like forced into these crazy situations and he still kicks ass. And probably the biggest surprise for me was I really liked the uh, the teaming of Bruce Willis and Justin Long. They do make a good duo on screen. They do have good like buddy chemistry, and they play off each other well. They're two different types of people. You think it would be corny or whatever, but it's not. It works well. It's one of the strengths of the movie. Like I guess the whole idea of it gets summed up when Timothy Olyphant says to Bruce Willis, you know, you're a Timex in a digital age. You know, basically like, you know, Bruce Willis is a relic of the past. He doesn't know how to use email. He's outdated. So he needs this sidekick to help him combat this. You know, he'll be the muscle. Justin Long's the brains. And Justin Long's good in it. He's very good in it. Him and Bruce Willis, like I said, they work together. They're fun to watch. Um, as for another thing that people like who have only seen the trailers or people have seen there's some people who have seen the movie that are critical of this is that the action is just so over the top that's taken it into another world now where it's not as reality based as the other ones. Which I don't know, man. In the first one, you have him jumping off the side of a building with a hose strapped around him, and dangling in an elevator by a machine gun, like gun strap. How, how close were those to reality? Yes, I mean I get it here. It's crazy, stupid stuff happening, like cars launching into helicopters, and you know, uh, uh, like a fighter jet trying to take out a semi, and somehow Bruce Willis gets out of the semi and onto the fighter jet, and it's just you're like, no way, man, no one would ever survive this. This isn't even possible. And maybe it isn't, and certainly none of it is very like plausible. But was it any less fun to watch? No, not at all. It was exciting as hell. Like the action in this is great. If you could like accept that crazy things will happen, you're like, wow, dude, there's cars flipping over, and like I said, he's jumping onto planes and taking out planes with cars. It's fucking awesome, dude. And even like the hand to hand combat is very strong in this. Like I like how there's one scene where he like goes and reaches to pull a gun out of the guy's holster, and he shoots the guy in the foot first, and then pulls the gun out of the holster, and that gets actually reused in a cool way. Or in scene someone's coming up behind him, and he's like slowly backing up towards the gun, and he just backs up really quick and grabs the gun and starts fucking the guy up. And it's good old Die Hard, you know. You have little touches like little tiny throwbacks and the music and stuff like that. And it's cool to see this John McClane's character progress, and he's a little bit different now. He's older. Definitely sick of this shit, I guess, but I don't know. I guess maybe I don't have as much to say as I thought I did, but it was just a good entry in the series. It's fun. One other thing that should be noted is like there's a surprising amount of violence against women. Like there's some brutal combat between Bruce Willis and this girl Maggie Hugh, who's like this super hot ninja girl that works for the terrorists. And I can see some feminist critics being really rubbed the wrong way by it, but to me, in a horror movie or action, women are fair game. Especially if they're the bad guy and they're coming at you and they're pulling some ninja shit on you, you're gonna hit them back, right? You're not gonna be like, oh, that's politically incorrect to hit a girl. That's against my values. Let her kill me. But his daughter gets smacked around and shit in a little bit of it, but I'm for that. That's the nature of it. Hey, you want equal rights, you got equal rights. You have the equal right to get slapped around like fuck. But I know, other than that, just a good entry in the series, probably the best since the first. A lot of fun, surprising. I'd give 4 out of 5 stars.